Welcome back to Vikes with a Mike. Tyler, good to be back with you, buddy. Been a solid week. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. I'm ready.
Good stuff, man. Well, before we even sat down to begin, some breaking news. The Dakota Dozier re-signing. 1 year. How you feel about that?
Absolutely horrible. I don't know. If he's a backup, I mean, it's whatever, but I'm not happy about it. He can't be starting for this team.
Yeah, so he started all 16 games last season. Did you know that?
Yeah, and his PFF grade was absolutely horrible.
Well, yeah, it definitely wasn't good. Obviously better than Samia in my mind, so, I'll take it. But no doubt, like, you want to see them sign somebody else here. And I saw literally like 2 minutes after that, Pelissero tweeted that Blythe signed a 1-year deal with the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like they re-signed Dakota Dozier, and then the next tweet that he sent out was the 1-year deal with the Chiefs for Blythe. So that was kind of rough. So now I guess it kind of comes down to can we get Fisher? Can we get Lamp? Can we get one of those guys?
Yep.
Which obviously is a hope of mine. I know that
I hope so.
You got some ideas for other guys too. So, but yeah, I mean, let's get into why we're really here. We're gonna do a full 3-round mock draft tonight. Super excited. It'll be a lot of fun, and we'll just switch off. So last time, I believe it was me doing the odds, right, and you doing the evens. So we'll just switch, and we'll give you our picks in live time. We'll do our best to give a little blurb on each pick and why we're doing it. But I think as it gets later into the draft, it'll be mostly, depth things for certain teams and going off of what's still available on the board. So we'll get there. But super stoked for this. This should be fun.
Yeah, man. Let's get into it.
All right, man. So you got your thing pulled up. You're on the clock. It's Jacksonville first.
All right, man. Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this is probably one of the most easiest picks of the draft. We've talked about it a lot. Trevor Lawrence off the board first. I mean,
there's no question here. I mean, you absolutely have to take Trevor Lawrence. There's no other guy that Urban Meyer and his team over there in Jacksonville should be thinking about taking. This is a generational guy. So if you're not snatching up the best player at number 1, then what are you doing?
Exactly.
Here we go, number 2 with the Jets. Now, I think I'm gonna go more realistic here. Obviously, we're not doing any trades today. Maybe we'll come back and do one of those at some point. I'm gonna take Zach Wilson here at number 2 with the Jets, because I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think that it's the smartest thing in the world for them to do. I think that there are plenty of other players that they could get, let alone like trading number 2 and getting even, either more draft capital or another player or something that is already in the NFL that meets a need of theirs. But yeah, Zach Wilson, by far, in my opinion, the second best quarterback in this draft. I think that his ceiling is super high. And I know that the Jets love him because apparently they came out and said it basically to some media people. So, yeah. But, you get a fun one here with pick number 3.
This is a new team at number 3, actually.
That's right.
San Francisco. They obviously have their quarterback set for next year, apparently. They kind of do need an offensive line, but at the end of the day, you're not going to trade up to the number 3 slot to pick an offensive lineman, in my opinion. I feel like that's kind of...
Yeah, right. There's no reason to trade up, especially all the way to number 3. I mean, unless you're going to get Sewell, but I feel like even that is a bad move to trade and give up as much of the assets that they did to go up there and trying to get Penei Sewell. I don't feel like that's the smartest idea for them at 3 here. So who do you got them taking?
I got him Trey Lance. I just feel like it's a great system fit, in my opinion, compared to the other QBs on the board.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. I don't know if it's necessarily the one that I would have selected. And Well, actually, I'll just get into it right now because when else would I get into it? I think that they're going to take Mac Jones. As
Wow.
crazy as it is, I think that they're going to take Mac Jones because I think he fits their system a little bit more. I know we've talked in the past about how awesome it would be to see Trey Lance in San Francisco, and I don't think that that's a bad pick by any means. But Mac Jones and Alabama had their second pro day, I think, or whatever. Maybe it was like their first pro day, but their second workout today. And Shanahan and Lynch were both there watching him instead of Justin Fields, who also had a pro day today. And obviously, I personally believe is a better quarterback than Mac Jones is as far as like draft position. So I think that's very telling that the two of them were at his.
Yeah. Just to keep it quick, I just feel like they could have got him at their original spot. So it's like, I don't know why they would even trade up then in the first place. What were they at, 13? I mean, like, that just tells me Trey Lance, I feel like, you know what I mean? They could have got Mac Jones at that other spot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they were at 12, but yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Insane.
I don't know. I just see Trey Lance for some reason. I don't know what it is.
I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. I think that it's definitely possible for sure. Yep. Here with Atlanta, let's see here. I actually have with Atlanta them taking Justin Fields here.
Okay.
To take over for the aging Matt Ryan. I think that it's going to be a good pick for them. I think that Justin Fields, aside from Zach Wilson, people are saying Justin Fields has the highest ceiling in this draft. I think it's Zach Wilson personally, but I definitely think Justin Fields is a close second for sure. Yep. Kind of tied with Trevor Lawrence as far as like the ceiling for these players.
Didn't he run like a 4.4? I think that's not today.
Yeah, he ran a 4.44 today.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, if you can see in the back, I got my NFL path to the draft on constantly. Always watching the stuff, so staying on top of it. What do you got for Cincinnati here, number 5, my guy?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm actually gonna go what's smart for the Cincinnati Bengals, not what I think they're gonna do. I mean, I've been saying it since day one. I mean, you got to go Sewell right here. I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know why if he's still on the board at 5 and you don't take him, I might have to fly out to Cincinnati, man. I really might have to fly out.
You might have to smack them silly, man.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if that team picked up Kyle Pitts, but it's like if Sewell is still on the board, that's a bigger need in my opinion.
Right. I completely agree. 100%. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if Cincinnati takes like Kyle Pitts or something like that and Miami still has a chance to take Sewell at number 6 after trading back? It'd be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that's the biggest need for them, and it makes the most sense by far. Now, the sad thing about this whole situation is the next pick with the Miami Dolphins. I have them taking Rashan Slater out of Northwestern, who's by far, in my opinion, the second best tackle in this draft. He has that flexibility again, could theoretically play guard. I think he's much better as a tackle. But yeah, I think that quite honestly, and I know I've said this on this podcast before, I think Rashan Slater has a higher ceiling than Penei Sewell. I really do. I'm not going to be shocked, I feel like, when 5 years from now, Rashan Slater is looked at as the pick of this draft, because I really think he's going to be a solid offensive lineman for multiple years to come.
Yeah, man, I can't disagree. We've seen the tape.
Exactly. So now we got Detroit
at 7.
Yeah.
Shoot. This is okay. This is interesting. I feel like this team needs defense really badly, but there's a specific wideout on the board here at 7, which I don't think this team could even pass up. So I'm gonna have to give him Jamar Chase.
Good pick.
He's need something on defense, in my opinion, but the wide receivers that they don't have anymore in Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones, like you gotta fill that hole, man.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And obviously, I love this kid. There were mocks early in the year that had him dropping all the way to the Vikings, and I was all for it. Even with our issues on the offensive line, I was all for it. I think, quite honestly, if any one of these three guys falls down to the Vikings, I still might be kind of chomping at the bit to get one of them. So we shall see, but it's definitely very interesting. I agree with you that if all three of those guys are on the board for 7, which could easily happen, that's probably the best one to go with first is Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Yep.
So now though we got the Carolina Panthers here, and the interesting thing about the Carolina Panthers is they have absolutely also kind of shown their hand as far as wanting a quarterback.
Yep.
So that's kind of the tough thing about, like the trades, not doing any trades tonight. But with all due respect, as crazy as this might sound, I think that Mac Jones impressed enough today that he's going to go here to Carolina at number 8 in today's mock draft. Mac Jones is officially off the board, which means if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks gone within the first 8 picks. All of the top consensus quarterbacks in this draft. Much, much higher than we've had in any other mock draft up to this point.
Wow. That's honestly crazy. I mean, there's a team now at 9 that I think I would have definitely given them Mac Jones if he's still on the board, but it's like because of recently they've signed some corners, the Denver Broncos, as I'm speaking. But yeah, I don't shoot. That's a lot,
right?
But speaking about the Denver Broncos, man, like at 9, this is a tough pick in my opinion. How, actually, I'll give him Micah Parsons. Actually,
that's who I would have given him. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think this team's only presence on the defense. I think their cornerbacks room got a lot better.
Absolutely.
Since we've been talking about it this offseason, but I still feel like they need one of those guys, one of those linebackers that can just fly around the field, make plays.
Especially if you're not going to be in the running to get one of the top quarterbacks too. Like you absolutely need to make sure then that your defense is solid,
Yep.
Because then you can at least give your offense the best shot, basically.
I feel like Carolina and Denver are 2 teams that you got to keep an eye out to trade up. Maybe those 2 teams are definitely going to be looking at QB now.
For sure. Yeah. So here we are, pick 10. Kyle Pitts still on the board, and guess what? He's not going here. He's not going to Dallas. I think they easily could use him at tight end. I wouldn't necessarily be shocked if he got picked here, but I am going to go with the best defensive lineman available, Christian Barmore. I think that he's a great scheme fit there in Dallas. I think that they need all the help they can get there defensively in Dallas. So I think it'd be absolutely idiotic for them to not go and try and get a defensive lineman that can put pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, shoot. They need any kind of defense, so I definitely like that pick. I mean, if that pick's not a defensive player with Dallas, okay, wow, I don't know what's going on.
Well, the only other person would be Kyle Pitts in my mind. That's the only other person they could go for if they're not going to go defense.
I feel like Dak's got enough weapons. Come on, Dallas.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's an interesting team for you. The New York Football Giants at 11. I would love to give them Kyle Pitts, but they just signed Kyle Rudolph, so that's not going to be happening.
And and they still have Evan Ingram and all that. So
the
tight end room is fine.
Yeah. I feel like honestly, this pick kind of. I feel like this team needs an edge. I don't know what it is. They need some sort of pass rush on the defense. I feel like.
Okay.
Wow. I'm gonna give him Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye.
Wow.
They lost a big motor on that interior defensive line. I know they did just sign somebody. I forgot his name though. on the interior, but I still feel like this team needs an edge rusher, in my opinion.
Interesting. I don't hate that pick at all. Obviously, I wouldn't even necessarily mind. Quiddy's in those 1 out of 3 guys that I'm looking at where if he's on the board for Minnesota, you can't pass him up type situation. So I love that pick for New York. I think that takes care of a big need for them too. The only other place that I see them going is probably offensive line, maybe. But hard to say at 11. Once Sewell and Slater are off the board there, the tackles don't necessarily get thin, but you get more into that like tackle / guard type role. And yeah, if you can get Kwity Paye, I think that's the best move. So I like that pick a lot. All right, we got the Eagles here after their trade, their part in the big blockbuster 3-way trade, Miami and San Francisco and Philly. So, oh my gosh, here we are with the Philadelphia Eagles, and they still have practically the cream of the crop when it comes to wide receivers. They can take Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith. I think that knowing Philly, in my opinion, they mess this up. They take Jalen Waddle instead of Devontae Smith here. So that's what I got.
Oh, gosh.
I got them taking Jalen Waddle there, which is super interesting. I think if they could, they'd probably take a quarterback at this spot. So, it's better than that at least. But
oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll see how that comes back to bite Philadelphia.
Wow. Okay, well, that's an interesting pick. Wow. Okay. We got the LA Chargers here at 13. This is interesting, in my opinion. I don't see them. Devontae Smith's still on the board. I don't really like that. I still feel like they need offensive line, in my opinion. I feel like Christian Darrisaw is kind of a must here at the offensive tackle position, so I'm going to take him. They got to protect Justin Herbert at all costs. I mean, that's their future, so and any chance of winning. So I feel like Darrisaw is not a bad pick at all at 13.
No, I don't hate that pick at all. I think that's a great pick, honestly. And it's too bad because he's by far, I think, the next best offensive lineman that would have at least been pretty good with the Vikings. But here we are with Minnesota, and we have quite a few guys on the board here that, I'm really intrigued by. Kyle Pitts is still on the board. He's falling. Devonta Smith is still on the board. You got Patrick Surtain II that's on the board there. Do they go corner again?
Don't even start me with that.
Got my guy J.C. Horn. You get the TCU prospect, the safety, Trayvon Moehrig. But yeah, for me, I think that the way this board falls, if you're the Minnesota Vikings, you don't have a clear-cut guy that you love on the offensive line at your position at 14. And, again, with the trades, you're not trading back to get more capital to get back into the second round. Then you're taking Devonta Smith here. You are making Minnesota have the best wide receiver core that we have seen since, probably 3 deep, to be honest with you. So Devontae Smith there to the Minnesota Vikings. They put off their offensive line needs and what people argue are defensive line needs to the later rounds. And we'll see. I mean, I love the pick. I love Devontae Smith. Don't get me wrong. But the way this board fell, it's not easy for them to really address the offensive line with the value they have at that 14th pick. So, but I mean, I would like to see them, quite honestly, trade 14, do like a pick swap with Baltimore, which is what I've seen, do 14 for 27, get some later round picks sent to Baltimore, get like Orlando Brown Jr., get back in the second round. That'd be so awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah. All right, at 15 for New England. Oh my gosh, I don't know how this happened. There's specific. Well, actually, they do. Never mind. Shoot, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Wow. Okay, that ain't gonna happen then. this pick's kind of a lot more interesting now.
Yeah, because it's not gonna be Kyle Pitts anymore because of the
No.
Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry signing.
Okay.
Which is kind of where I saw you going with LA, the Chargers. I thought you were gonna have them take Kyle Pitts there because they lost their big tight end. But what do you got here?
Right. Honestly, I'm gonna. You know what? All right, let's just do this. All right, I'm gonna give them that linebacker from Notre Dame. I feel like that dude's a really good player. Jeremiah, I can't say his last.
Karamoa.
Yeah, I feel like this team needs another presence on that defense.
Yeah,
that's not a big need for New England. I feel like he's the best linebacker probably in this class for Notre Dame. So I feel like that's a good pick. I mean, if you're not going to take Kyle Pitts, but you already signed those two tight ends, which I don't know why they did that. I feel like Jonnu Smith alone would have been good by himself, but I don't know, just to save that team salary cap space. Because who else? Did they sign Hunter Henry? Like, I don't.
Yeah, they signed Hunter Henry too. So they signed both those guys.
Man, that's a question. I don't really get that in my opinion, but I feel like this team does need something at linebacker, especially that defense, because they weren't really the same in 2020.
Well, Jonnu's a really great blocking tight end too. So I think for them, it was kind of the versatility that they were getting with both players. You know, both of them could obviously receive, but anyways, we're not going to get super into it because we got a lot more picks to go. But
yeah,
here we go with Arizona. And finally, this is where our guy goes off the board here. Kyle Pitts is going to the Arizona Cardinals. He is going to go there, and he is going to turn that team into a Super Bowl winning squad. I am telling you right now, that is a massive piece that Arizona is picking up, a massive weapon that Arizona is picking up for their guy, Kyler Murray, and that offense. So watch out for Arizona.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm going to make this pick. You got the Las Vegas Raiders, your second favorite team. This is an interesting pick for me. I'm going to make it interesting. I don't know if you're going to like it or not. I'm actually going to take Trevon Moehrig from TCU, safety.
Oh, yeah, I don't hate that.
At 17. I feel like it's kind of a sneaky kind of pick there. I don't know. This kid's great. I don't know if you've seen the tape. I mean,
of course, yes. He's by far the best safety on my board.
Yeah. I feel like the Raiders, they signed who's Yannick off the edge. I don't know. This team needs anything on defense, in my opinion. This kid's going to fill the starting safety spot right away. They're going to play him alongside Jonathan Abram, I think. So,
that's a crazy back end on their defense. That's a crazy
that fills a need. So
I like that. All right, we got Miami here, their second pick of the first round. And I believe, who was it that they took? They took a offensive lineman. Yeah, it's Rashan Slater.
Yep.
That's right. So they already filled that tackle position there. Let's go ahead and get these guys an edge rusher. Jason Oweh out of Penn State. You've now addressed, both your offensive and defensive line. You've instantly made them both about a million times better than they were. So yeah, that's massive for Miami, and I believe they still have. Do they still have another pick here coming up, or not anymore? No, that might actually be there.
No, I don't think so.
That's their last one in the first round. Oh,
yeah.
I'm thinking pick 36. So they pick early again in the second round. So yeah, crazy draft night for them.
All right, we got
WFT.
The Washington football team here at 19. Honestly, feel like this is a no-brainer. I don't feel like there's a QB on the board. Mac Jones isn't on the board here. So I feel like you go offensive tackle. I feel like you go Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State. I don't really feel like there's a question to this pick. I feel like their defense is set. I feel like you protect your future quarterback, which we don't know who it's going to be. I mean, currently it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, but we'll see what it holds for Washington. But I think Tevin Jenkins is the no-brainer pick.
Yeah, it's a very interesting move as far as Washington signing Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Because we already talked about it,
Yep.
I think it was last week or the week before, about how he is kind of that quintessential guy that you bring in if you're going to have a young quarterback. He'll get you a couple wins to start out. He'll teach the kid a bunch of stuff, and then he'll probably kind of start to fall off enough that you can put the new guy in halfway through the season or a little bit over halfway through the season. So It's interesting to see what happens with Washington, that's for sure. Oh boy, I got Chicago, the poverty franchise that is
Oh,
Chicago.
yes, sir.
They want a quarterback too. They want a tackle probably, or a guard or something like that. But they're also losing pieces on the defense, and they are known for their defense. This team loves their defense. And Patrick Surtain II is somehow still on this board, so he's not going to get past Chicago. Chicago takes him to fill that position that Kyle Fuller left and brought with him to Denver. So there you go. Patrick Surtain. Bears fans go crazy. They did it again. They didn't listen to you. I'm sure you're all very pissed off to hear that pick, but it's probably realistic, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Indianapolis Colts.
Oh boy, here we go.
This isn't really a bad pick. I feel like what I'm going to do here. I mean, I feel like it's a need again. I mean, I feel like J.C. Horn is the obvious pick here.
Oh, again, interesting. Okay.
I mean, I don't really see why. I just feel like this team needs a corner still. It's still a team need. So
I don't know. Yeah, that's not a. I don't hate that pick by any means. Besides, Indianapolis is a pretty easy team to root for, and I definitely want to root for this J.C. Horn kid. So, but I definitely thought you were going to go with like a wide receiver and offensive lineman there. Well, maybe not offensive lineman, defensive lineman. But.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely don't hate that pick. All right, we got Tennessee, number 22. They have, well, quite a few needs now. I'm sure they would have loved it if Kyle Pitts had kept dropping. Can you imagine?
Definitely.
However, I do think that the Tennessee Titans, they are going to go ahead and try and fill a hole on the offensive side of the ball here, specifically the offensive line. I think they take Walker Little out of Stanford, tackle. He's a solid guy. I'm like 99.9% sure that that's why Rick Spielman was at the Stanford pro day. So, yeah, I definitely like that pick for Tennessee, shoring up that offensive line.
All right, we got the New York Jets now coming in at number 23. This team needs a lot of players. But I mean, they haven't done too bad in free agency.
Right, they've got their quarterback now in the future.
Yep. I don't know, a wide receiver would be a good pick here, I feel like, but there is some good corners still on the board, in my opinion, that I feel like you might not be able to pass up. So this is tough. I feel like I'm gonna go Caleb Farley actually for
okay. I don't hate that pick at all.
I feel like at 23, I feel like it's a good pick. I mean,
that's a great pick.
A lot of people have been high on him. This team needs anything on defense, and gonna need a shutdown corner, man. So why not Caleb Farley out of Vatek?
I like Caleb Farley a lot. I think that's a massive pickup for the Jets, and I definitely think that he fell. I think that he is easily a mid first round talent, if not kind of right before the mid rounds.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Number 24, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers, I have to go ahead and give them one of these edge rushers that seem to be falling. I mean, it's absolutely insane to me that like Azeez Ojulari is still on the board. Heck, actually, you know what? That's the guy that they're getting. Oh, that's the guy that they're getting right there. I like it. No, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Rousseau and Phillips.
Yep.
But I definitely like that pickup for the Steelers. They're just constantly building that defense, and they got their wide receiver back already. They know that they're getting the last year out of their quarterback, so that'll be something for them to worry about next year. Right now, let's just make sure that the offense gets as many tries as they can, so we bulk up that defense.
All right, I like it. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars up next. I feel like offensive tackle is a very big need, but you know what? Let's give him a wide out. I actually am going to give them Rashad Bateman at 25 right here.
Oh boy.
Give Trevor Lawrence a little toy. I mean, we know how good Rashad Bateman is. Come on now. I feel like he's kind of a steal at 25 for the Jags and Urban Meyer. I mean, he's from the Big Ten. He's seen what Rashad Bateman can do. Come on now.
Yeah, that's massive for Jacksonville right there. That's huge.
I mean, Rashad Bateman's a first round wide receiver. Come on now, people.
By far,
Wake
yes,
up.
for sure.
Wake
I
up.
think honestly he could go way before 25. To be completely honest, I think that a lot of NFL clubs have a much higher grade on him than we realize. So, I'd be shocked if he goes much sooner than the late first round. All right, we got Cleveland here, and Cleveland, they are benefiting so much by the way that this draft board has fallen to them. They have the pick of which Miami edge rusher they want, and after looking at the pro day, I gotta go Jalen Phillips here. I gotta give him Jalen Phillips. I think that's a massive pickup for Cleveland. You pair him with a guy like Myles Garrett and the defense that they already have over there. And, man, scary.
Well, since you just got him off the board, might as well give Baltimore Gregory Rousseau.
Oh, I like it.
This team lost Yannick Ngakoue. I mean, shoot. I mean, Rousseau is very raw, but I don't know. Baltimore might be able to turn him into something. They've turned a lot of defensive players into something in the National Football League. So why not give Baltimore Gregory Rousseau? 27. I feel like it's a good sneaky pick. I mean, he's got to go to the right team though, man. He's got to go to the right team. I mean, I
would agree.
You put him on a wrong team, that's not going to be able to develop him. He's not going to be anything in the National Football League. But I feel like Baltimore's a team that could develop this kid into being something.
No, I like that pick a lot, to be honest with you. Not as much though as I like the New Orleans Saints taking Asante Samuel Jr. here. I think that them taking a corner and finally kind of starting to figure out their backside as far as their defense goes is going to be massive for them, because there's no way they're going to address the quarterback situation. I think they're fine as far as their offensive weapons go. But yeah, so I think it's linebacker or cornerback here for me, and the way that it fell, Asante Samuel Jr. is the guy to go with.
All right. Well, the Green Bay Packers are up. I'm actually going to make this pick off what I think they'll do, so I'm going to give them a corner. I'm not a wide receiver. Man, I mean, these corners on the board, I don't know. This is tough. I'm probably going to lean towards Greg Newsome II out of Northwestern.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's the best out of the guys on the board.
Yeah, exactly.
Asante Samuel would have been a steal for them at 29, but
it got kind of thin, kind of quick there when Patrick Surtain and Caleb Farley and J.C. Horn had already gone, I think. So, yeah.
Yep.
Pretty good stuff, though. I mean, that's not a terrible pick for Green Bay. I definitely don't hate that pick at all, especially after they re-signed freaking King. It's like you gotta find a way to get him out of the lineup.
Yeah, man, definitely.
All righty, so we got the Buffalo Bills here, and man, you cannot, in my opinion, pass up a guy like Carlos Basham Jr. here if you're the Bills. He's by far the best edge rusher left on the board. I'm high on him. I think that he's definitely a first round talent, to be completely honest with you. I've seen him drop in mocks all the way down to the third round, which is absolutely insane to me. But yeah, I dig this guy a lot. I think that Buffalo gets a much needed defensive lineman out of this situation, and everybody's happy.
All right. Wow. Well, we got the Kansas City Chiefs up at 31. They did just sign an offensive lineman today, but I feel like this team might still need a tackle, in my opinion. I still feel like they need depth at the position. I'm going to give them Liam Eichenberg from Notre Dame. He's a Notre Dame line, pretty physical. I mean, I don't really see why you don't take a lineman. I feel like you're stacked everywhere else. Your defense might need another edge rusher, but I mean, the edge rushers at this point in the draft, I feel like are kind of weak. So I don't know. I don't feel like this is a bad pickup for Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm surprised that you didn't go with like Elijah Vera Tucker, Samuel Cosme, one of those guys.
Cosme.
Yeah. Well, you're not too high on Elijah Vera Tucker?
Oh, I am. It's just I feel like they need offensive tackle, not really offensive guard.
I play both, right?
I know he's flexible. Yeah, you're right. Shoot, I don't know.
That's hard to say. I don't hate that pick by any means. I think Liam is probably the most pure tackle. That's one of the most pure tackles that's left. So yeah, I definitely don't hate that pick at all. Okay, well, let's see here. We got the Super Bowl champs up next. And to finish out the first round, I'm going to have them take. I got to go safety here. And I am going to go with Elijah Molden out of Washington. A lot of people are high on this kid. They think he's pretty freaking good down there in the defensive backfield. I just think that I'm blanking on his name, but the guy who plays next to Winfield Jr., I feel like he's getting a bit old, and you can never necessarily have too much defensive back depth. So if you're not going to get a shot at one of the top defensive interior linemen, and with the amount of guys that they've re-signed, I think that's probably the way to go if you're Tampa Bay.
All right. Well, start of the second round. I mean, I can't believe Elijah Vera Tucker's still on the board here for at 30 in the second round with Jacksonville. I kind of want to give them to him, but they need a tackle. I'm going to give him Sam Cosme actually then, for Texas. This team needs offensive line. So I gave him Rashad Bateman last time. They got to take an offensive lineman for Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. I feel like it'd be a no-brainer when you already have taken a wideout. So and the QB, obviously. I mean, so yeah.
I definitely don't hate that pick, not at all. However, the next pick here with the Jets, they do need a guard, and so they are going to take Elijah Vera Tucker here.
There we go.
Because he's by far the best player on the board, I think, going into round 2 with this situation. So, wow, man, the Jets are freaking making out here. They had Caleb Farley fall to them. They got their quarterback of the future, and now they had Elijah Vera Tucker fall to them. That might be the best draft that I've seen in forever.
Yeah, dude, the Jets are literally scoring right now, something they haven't done all season.
Right.
All right. We got Atlanta here at 35. Obviously take for QB in the first round, Justin Fields, I believe, right? You took Fields, 35.
That's correct.
All right. I mean, shoot, this team needs anything on defense, in my opinion. This defense was down bad last year. So I like Nick Bolton from Missouri, actually, at 35.
Ooh, yes.
I feel like that's solid. I think actually like earlier mocks, I think I had them taking Micah Parsons early, but if they can get Nick Bolton in the second round at 35, shoot, man. I think that's a good pickup, in my opinion. I mean, this team needs presence on defense. They need one of those linebackers, again, that's going to do the dirty work and finish tackles. So I like that pickup for Atlanta.
Absolutely. I definitely like that pickup for them. And yeah, I think that there's a scenario in which they go defense at number 4. I don't know. It feels like that might even be one that they trade out of. So, but yeah, Nick Bolton there at 35, that's massive. I had mocks where I had him going in like the 20s in the first round.
Yep.
So that's huge. All righty. Well, we got Miami on the board here. what I thought was a third first round pick, but it's just so early in the second round that it kind of still feels like one. So far, they have addressed tackle with Rashan Slater, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And then they got Jason Away in the first round. So they've addressed both their offensive and defensive line. Oh man. I think that this is the time to give your guy Tua Tagovailoa a weapon here. I think that you go Elijah Moore, and you take probably the best wide receiver. Well, maybe not the best wide receiver, one of the best wide receivers on the draft here, or on the board here still. So that's I think that's a great first 3 picks for Miami. I think that's huge for them, addressing both lines that they need, and now they get a really great skill player on the outside.
There's 2 really good wideouts I'm looking at on the wide receiver board still left that that are really good players in my opinion. So, but I mean, Elijah Moore is no scrub. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, getting him at 36, I feel like he's kind of a late, early second type of player. So not a bad pickup for Miami right there. All right. We got Philadelphia, I think at 37 here. I mean, wide receiver off the board first. With I think who was it? Oh yeah, you took Waddle, yeah. Not Devontae Smith. But this team needs something on defense, in my opinion. They do need a tight end, but there's no Kyle Pitts here. I feel like the guy from Penn State would be kind of a reach at 37, in my opinion. I'm going to go corner. I'm going to go Derek Stokes from Georgia. I mean, this team, I think, needs a corner badly. Again, I mean, this defense, Philly, I don't feel like they're any good. I know they picked up Ann Harris, but I feel like this defense is still very bad. I mean, they gave up a ton of points last year. So I don't really – I just think it's a good pickup. I don't really see why not to pick up a corner.
Yeah,
need a bad one for them.
Right. Yes, corner has – I feel like it's been a position need for them for like years now.
Yep.
But – yeah, that should definitely at least give them hope in the defensive back room for sure. I like that pick a lot. Okay, so we got Cincinnati here. They steal the draft because of the way the board fell. Got Penny Sewell at number 5 instead of back when the world was normal. Miami probably taking him at number 3 when they were still there. Wow, I almost want to give them another lineman just because they need it so bad. But the best offensive lineman that's still on the board, in my opinion, is a tackle, and they have Riley Reif now and Penny Sewell, so they don't really need a tackle. I'm not going to actually go with the offensive line pick. I'm going to give them a wide receiver, and I'm going to give them who I think is by far the best wide receiver still left in the draft here, Rondale Moore out of Purdue.
Oh my gosh.
That is a massive for Joey Burrow. Massive for Joey Burrow. You lose AJ Green. Okay, well, here's Rondale Moore, a bona fide freak athlete. That's huge for the Bengals.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that pickup. That might be my favorite pick of the draft. Wow. Okay. We got Carolina at 39 here. Shoot. QB off the board. You know what? Let's make this interesting. I'm going to give them – I think this team still needs an offensive line, in my opinion. I feel like a tackle is kind of a need. I'm going to go Dylan Raduns from North Dakota State. I think this guy's kind of a sleeper.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's a sneaky go player. Like, shoot, this guy could literally – he has potential to be like a first round. Like, he could be – his talent, like – I think it's a late first, in my opinion.
I want to see the Vikings trade back into the second round just to get him, to be completely honest.
I mean, shoot. I feel like this guy is kind of a sneaky pick. If Carolina got him, I mean, I feel like they need a line, whoever they're going to get at quarterback. And I don't feel like their line is anything special. So, I mean, this guy's kind of a good player, in my opinion. So,
right.
I think it'll be a steal.
Yeah, that's huge. Well, now they have Mac Jones in this mock. So now they've taken Mac Jones and they've gotten a really, really solid tackle that played for a very athletic quarterback. And Mac Jones is fairly athletic, actually. He's a lot more movable than your Jimmy Garoppolo's and
Yep.
Honestly Teddy Bridgewater after his knee injury of the world. So yeah, that's a great scheme fit, I feel like, for them too. Like that pick a lot. Denver though, one of not my second favorite team, obviously, but up there in more favorite teams. They so far have addressed what defensive line, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
No linebacker.
Linebacker. Micah Parsons.
Parsons. Yep.
Right. Which is a great pickup for them. Had you not taken Dylan Radins, I would have given them him. So I will have them take Alex Leatherwood. Okay. Yet again, shore up the offensive line. If you're not going to be in the running for one of those top 5 quarterbacks, then you absolutely need to make sure that Drew Lock has enough time to throw the ball and that your defense is giving him as many opportunities to throw the ball as you possibly can. So put him in the best situation and he'll shock you.
I like it. Yeah, that's a good pickup. All right. We got the Motor City Kitties up at 41, I believe.
Yes, sir.
I mean, wide receiver off the board, I think, was Jamar Chase. Shoot. I think defense is the no-brain pick here. I'm actually go with Zaven Collins from Tulsa. I feel like they need anything on defense, especially a linebacker. I feel like corner is also a massive need. So they need an edge rusher too. I think every spot on defense can be filled in Detroit. I feel like Zaven Collins is a first-round type talent.
Whoa, sorry. We had some technical difficulties, so I kind of lost what you said there.
Oh yeah, I got Zaven Collins from Tulsa. I feel like he's a first-round type talent. Detroit needs anything on defense, in my opinion. I don't really know why they wouldn't take defense here, especially with taking the wide receiver in the first round. So,
gotcha.
They need an edge rusher. They need a corner. They need a linebacker.
Yeah, their needs are like the longest list I've seen.
Yeah,
ever. It's like edge rusher, linebacker, safety, wide receiver, corner, interior defensive line,
even QB,
quarterback even. Yeah, it's like practically an entire team that they need to rebuild. That's a great start. You know, you've got Zaven Collins, you've got a solid wide receiver in Jamar Chase. So those are 2 big pickups for them for sure. And then next we got the New York Football Giants again. And they took a defensive lineman, correct? They took Kwity Paye?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep.
So let's go ahead and give them an offensive lineman to pair with their solid defensive lineman. Let's give them Richie Grant out of UCF. I like this kid. I think that it's a little early for him. Don't get me wrong. I think that he's more of a kind of mid to late second round pick. But if you're the New York Giants, I'm sorry. Richie Grant's a safety.
I was confused.
Yeah, I was talking about the offensive line. No, I'm replace offensive line with safety. I think that the New York Giants need a little bit of help in the backfield. So Richie Grant's by far the next best safety that I have on my board personally.
Yeah. Okay. I like Richie Grant too. I feel like he's a great player. I mean, I don't know. New York Giants, I feel like the back end is underrated for them. They don't really have anybody back there. So I wouldn't say that's
I can't think of the names of the New York Giants safeties, or I can't name. I guess Adoree Jackson, since they signed him, but that's a corner.
Yep.
So
and in my opinion, I like it. All right, we got the San Francisco Giants at 43. They took a QB in the first round, which was Mac Jones.
No, they took Trey Lance.
Shoot, my bad. I feel like interior offensive line is kind of a move here. So
okay,
I'm gonna give them Wyatt Davis, Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you don't take a guy like this playing the Big Ten at Ohio State who's very dominant. Did suffer an injury, but I don't really feel like it's going to be that big of a deal.
No, and he's one of the top guys on the board as far as guards go for sure. So
Vikings need to be looking at him too still.
Falling at 43 is pretty crazy. Good for San Francisco picking that. Yeah. Jeez. San Francisco might now like legitimately be right back in the running for a Super Bowl after our mock draft year.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got Dallas on the clock again. I had them take Christian Barmore at number 10. Yes, I did.
Yep.
So now is when we take the tight end. Pratt Freiermuth out of Penn State. I think that tight end is probably their biggest need as far as the offense goes. Their offensive line is still pretty solid. You got Dak coming back from the injury. Give him another weapon. Give him another reason to get the ball out of his hands fast.
All right. I mean, I don't hate it. This team needs defense, and I feel like the whole draft could be defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you for sure. I don't know.
But they do need tight end. Yeah,
I think that a tight end would work really well for them here.
All right. We got Jacksonville at 45. We got QB off the board, obviously, offensive tackle and a wide receiver. So, you know what? I'm going to go interior defensive line. I'm going to go with Levi. Oh, I don't know how to say the last Owens. From Washington. I know he's a unit. So, I mean, I don't know why. This team needs somebody up the middle on the defense. I feel like he's like the second best interior defensive lineman in this class, in my opinion. So I don't know why you don't take that at 45 if you're Jacksonville. I mean, he's a very good player. I've seen him in the first round in a couple mocks as well, late first. So at 45, I feel like that's a good pick, mid-second round.
You said Levi Owens, right, out of Washington?
Yeah, I don't know how to say that last name, man.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, Levi on Zurich. Yep. Sorry, I was like, I don't see no Levi Owens. No, that's funny. Okay, yeah, I got you for sure. I definitely don't mind that pick. I think that, with the amount of spots they've already addressed, the fact that they've gotten 1, 2, 3 possible starters already out of this draft is, why not get more help on the defensive line of all places?
Yep.
Okay. Now we're back to New England. They got a solid linebacker, probably the best linebacker in this draft in the first round. And now we're looking at how can we give Cam Newton the best possible position to play. We've given him 2 solid tight ends. They made quite a lot of defensive signings. I think I know that they made a trade for Trent Brown to get him back so their offensive line is doing good. I am gonna have them take Terrace Marshall Jr. out of LSU, wide receiver.
I like him.
I think he's probably the next best wide receiver on this draft. You can make an argument maybe for the Gator prospect Kadarius Toney, but I think wide receiver is probably their next biggest point of need. And quarterback's it's just too early to take one of those guys that's left at quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, I like it a lot. We got LA at 47. I don't like the edge. I feel like this team needs an edge, but I don't really like the guys on the board. So honestly, I'm gonna keep loading up on this offensive line. I'm gonna go back to the interior actually. With it, they did take an offensive tackle in the first. Let's see. I really like Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma, so I feel like that's a good pick up for LA. I feel like you just bolster that line even more, make it a top unit next year. So I don't really know. I feel like it's a great pick, though, in my opinion.
At the very least, it's good depth, right? Like I think he played mostly center at Oklahoma, but and didn't they? I'm 99% sure it's the Chargers that signed Philip Lindsay from Green Bay. So
Corey Linsley, yeah.
Or Corey Lindsey, yeah. So
Yep.
So they have their center, but if you could convert him to a guard, great. Awesome.
Yep.
And at the very least, you have a very solid backup.
Yep.
On a team that is trying to keep their franchise quarterback off the ground. So nothing wrong with that. I don't see any bad move made there. As far as Las Vegas goes, I feel the exact same thing. So I'm actually going to go Landon Dickerson here from Alabama. They made some trades and some cuts as far as the offensive line goes that left them needing more, in my opinion. Obviously, they took the safety in the first round, which is a sneaky good pick. I do like that pick a lot, but they still need to address this offensive line quickly.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I was just trying to find a player, but
oh, you're good. No worries. What we got for Arizona here, my guy? They have the player of the draft already taken in Kyle Pitts, if I'm remembering correctly.
All right. Yep, they do. Kyle Pitts. All right. You know what? I feel like you need a corner still, in my opinion. I'm gonna go with Aaron Robinson from UCF. UCF generates a lot of like athletic guys that are quick.
DBU.
I mean, the only problem is Mike Hughes is from there, but I don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal compared to Mike Hughes being a first-round pick and this guy being a second and him having all those injury problems. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like a low-risk kind of pick here. UCF can generate – it's either going to be a really good pick or just – I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, they need a corner after losing Pat Pete to the Vikings, so they definitely need a corner. Besides, actually, I don't think their cornerback room has been amazing for a couple of years. You know what I mean? It's really Pat Pete's been their star. So, all right, back to Miami. And Miami, they have had a draft. Their most recent pick, they got Elijah Moore. They got Jason Oweh. And then, of course, Rashan Slater. So offensive line, defensive line, and a very solid wide receiver. Where do we go from here, my guys? Well, I think that you could probably go linebacker. And I'm looking at a guy here that I really like out of LSU, Jabril Cox. This guy is solid. And that's not much of a drive for the LSU product down to Miami, and I think it's one that he'll probably very much so like to make based on the way they're drafting here.
I like that pick up a lot. That's shoot, it's a really good pick. Miami's another team absolutely killing this mock right now. Holy crap!
Absolutely bolstering their team.
All right, well, we got the Washington football team. There's a guy who I see right now at wide receiver that I feel like would be an absolute steal for them at 51, and he's a freak athlete. So I'm gonna go with Kadarius Toney.
Yep.
Let's make wide receiver there, shall we? Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, now Kadarius Toney.
That might be the best wide receiver unit in football. Now that you bring that up, I mean, I thought with the Vikings taking. Actually, no, I still think with the Vikings getting Devontae Smith at number 14, they have the best wide receiver core. But that's definitely a close second there now in Washington.
Up there.
For sure.
Definitely up there.
For sure. Okay, here we are with Chicago. And they took a corner, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Not just any corner, actually. I think they took Patrick Surtain.
Yep.
So a very solid corner, but that is not their biggest need. Their biggest need is quarterback, and they're not going to get a quarterback here. Their next biggest need is offensive line. So let's give them the next best offensive lineman that I have on my board here. Jackson Carman, tackle, Clemson. I like him a lot. I like what he did keeping Trevor Lawrence up a lot. So now he goes into Chicago and hopefully makes a name for himself. Well, actually, I guess as a Vikings fan, hopefully he doesn't. But as a person, I hope he does well.
All right.
you got for Tennessee here, my man?
You know what? I feel like this team does still need a corner, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Kelvin Joseph from Kentucky. I don't see why they shouldn't take a corner. I mean, who do they have? I can't really think of anyone on the top of my head. Shoot, I don't really see why.
Well, I know that they lost freaking Malcolm Butler recently, so I definitely don't hate that pick at all. Corner is a big need for them after either losing the guys that they had or just them not even making a name for themselves at this point.
Yeah, I mean, shoot.
All right, Indianapolis, the Colts. They took a wide receiver, or what did they do? No, they took J.C. Horn. I should remember that because, well, self-explanatory why I should remember that. I think that they need a wide receiver, though, to be completely honest with you.
They do, yeah.
Let's see here. Who do we have left at wide receiver? The options are getting thinner. I'm going to have to go with Dyami Brown, North Carolina. He's by far the most highly ranked wide receiver that's still on the board. I think they kind of missed out, to be completely honest with you. I somewhat disagree that they needed a guy like J.C. Horn in the first round. I think that they're going to either go wide receiver or I guess probably maybe like a defensive lineman. But I didn't hate the pick by any means. I think that it's never a bad thing to get good defensive backs. So they just have to suffer with a not so great talent at wide receiver now. Not as good as they could have gotten, I should say.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, it all depends if they want to put trust in the T.Y. Hilton still anymore.
Exactly.
He's got it, which I don't really know. I mean, he's getting up there, and he kind of had a down year this past season. All right, we got Pittsburgh at 55. This is kind of an interesting pick for me. And there's still 3 really good players on the board at this position. I hope you're in position I'm talking about. You know what? I'm going to give them a guy who can make guys miss, and he's very elusive. I'm going to go Travis Etienne. I'm not trust James Conner in the backfield. I feel like he's not very good, in my opinion. As much as that dude's gone through. I mean, he's gone through a lot, so I don't want to, say anything bad about him because he is a good guy. But, you know what I mean? Just for the football team, in my opinion, they need something.
Yep.
At running back. I feel like this is a good pick for Pittsburgh. I mean, if Etienne's falling all the way to 55, then shoot, that's a steal.
I really like that pick, and I was actually if a running back didn't go to Pittsburgh, I was gonna mention how Travis Etienne, Najee Harris, and then guy out of Javonte Williams is still on the board. All of them. So. Yeah, that's pretty crazy that 55 they're getting that caliber of player because I know you think he could easily be a first-round talent.
Oh, my gosh, yeah, definitely.
Probably Najee, too, to be honest with you.
I mean, he could be the starting running back. I think he's probably already better than James Conner, in my opinion.
There you go, man. Running back controversy. No, I'm just kidding. Those don't really happen, do they? No. They all just kind of share the load. All right, we got Seattle here, the team that never picks in the first round, and then you'll have LA.
And when they do, it's terrible.
Another team that never picks in the first round. So 2 back-to-back. Let's take a look here at what we're going to do in Seattle. Seattle, I feel like their needs are always on the offensive line. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, wait, you can't because I'm not wrong. So let's give them a guard. Let's give them Kendrick Green out of Illinois. There's nothing super splashy here for me. I think that he's fine. I think I could definitely see somebody, taking another one of maybe the centers that are ranked a little higher and trying to convert them to guard position. But I think it's not necessarily the best move. So give the Seahawks somebody who's actually played the position for a long time and hopefully it works out for him. Russell Wilson doesn't keep requesting trades.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. All right. Well, we got the LA Rams, a team that doesn't have a first-round pick for another, I don't know how many years it is after this. I mean,
Yeah,
Wow.
it's insane. It's like 2024, 2025 or something like that. Something crazy.
This team, I think, needs tackle. I don't know if Andrew Whitworth is coming back next season. I believe. I don't think he's at 40. I don't even know. I still feel like this team needs somebody on the offensive line really badly to help protect Matthew Stafford, because we know how bad of lines he's had in his career. So
Right.
you want to make him feel good back there. I'm going to go with Deontay Smith out of East Carolina. He's a senior this past year. I mean, he's got some experience at the position. Like you said, I mean, not the most flashy pick in the world for LA, but give a guy who has experience at the collegiate level, who's played the position, obviously. He played left tackle. So I don't really see why it's a bad pickup for LA. I mean, they need any kind of offensive line help, though, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I definitely don't hate that pick. I think that there might be a tackle or two that I'd have ranked higher, but at the same time, it's like sometimes those smaller school linemen, just because they don't see as much when it comes to competition, they fall and they're still really good. So that could easily be a pick. But kind of like what you're saying, it doesn't matter whether or not a lineman is retiring or a lineman, gets hurt or whatever. And it could be for anybody, obviously. You constantly need to have depth at those positions.
Depth.
It's the biggest thing. So, all right, Baltimore back on the clock since they took Gregory Rousseau at 27, which I think at that pick, that value actually makes sense. That's why I get so ticked off when I see the Vikings taking him at 14 in some of those mocks. But here we are at 58. They still need a wide receiver. But guess what? There's not really anything flashy left at wide receiver until you get down to what I would categorize as third round level draft picks, to be completely honest with you. So let's go ahead and give them offensive line. Let's go ahead and give them a tackle, actually. We'll give them the Michigan prospect, Jalen Mayfield. Now, I'm giving them a tackle because, granted, they're doing pretty good at tackle, but most likely Orlando Brown Jr. is going to get traded here pretty quick. You might as well shore up the other side of your offensive line with a guy who actually wants to play there instead of requesting a trade, because he's not going to get to play left tackle. So, I think that that's a good move for Baltimore, especially when you have an athletic quarterback like Lamar Jackson. You can never, just like what we were saying with LA, you can't have enough depth on the offensive line.
All right. We got the Cleveland Browns up at 59. They took edge rusher, I believe, Jalen Phillips in the first round.
Yes, they did.
With that value, I feel like that's a good pickup.
Absolutely. Jalen Phillips could go before then. Jalen Phillips actually makes sense. Gregory Rousseau is young and he's barely played, so it's just
Jalen Phillips injuries. But I mean,
but
he's healthy.
Then he's shown that he's healthy. So okay.
So with Cleveland, I feel like you got him off the board. I feel like let's make this defensive line even better, in my opinion. I'm going to give them Davian Nixon from Iowa on the interior of the defensive line. I feel like that is kind of a need for them. They have Myles Garrett on the other end. But if you get this guy, obviously, I think he's maybe even going to fight for a starting job on the interior. But, I mean, if you get him, I mean, this defensive line is going to be – you'll also get the guy from Miami. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name, even though I just said it like 2 seconds ago. But you're making this defensive line just even better, and it's going to force a reckoning on the other team's offensive line and other team's quarterback. So, I mean, I feel like then Cleveland's going to turn this defense around, and Cleveland's going to make a next step, hopefully they can get to the championship game, AFC, or even the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So wait, I had Dave. You took Davian Nixon, right?
From Iowa.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just making sure. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, him and Jalen Phillips in the first 2 rounds, massive.
Yep.
Absolutely massive for Cleveland there. I would love to see them in the AFC Championship game. I'd love to see them in a freaking Super Bowl.
Yep.
And we can stop making the jokes about taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
All righty, New Orleans Saints are back up. They took a corner in the first round. So let's give them a linebacker here. because I think that's their next biggest point of need. So let's give them Jamin Davis out of Kentucky. I think that he's probably the next best linebacker on this board. You could make maybe a bit of an argument for Amani Rice out of Georgia or a Justin Hillard out of Ohio State, but in my opinion, those Kentucky guys, I think that we already had like 2 or 3 Kentucky guys go off the board. So those defensive guys just they translate from that school. So
yeah. All right, we got the Buffalo Bills at 61. You know what? Let's make their running back room even more chaotic, shall we? I'm gonna give them Najee Harris. I feel like he's better than Devin Singletary and Zach Moss already. Just find your running back, Buffalo, please, because I feel like this guy's literally better than both the guys you have. So I feel like it'd be a good pickup to finally find the running back, because I don't really see a lot in Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. Even Zach Moss after 1 year, he had a lot of fumble issues, just other kind of stuff. I didn't really see a lot. I feel like this guy's already better than both of those dudes coming out of Alabama. I mean, we saw what he did in the national championship game all season last year. I mean, come on, man. I mean, he's literally a first-round talent. So,
yeah,
literally at the late second right now. So, like really late second.
That's huge for Buffalo. I mean, if that doesn't put them in their offense in the conversation is the best in the NFL, I don't know, man. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
What they now have as far as playmakers on that offense. For Green Bay go crazy. I'm giving you a wide receiver. Josh Palmer, wide receiver, Tennessee. You did it. You took a wide receiver, the first one in over a year. Amazing. Great job. You finally filled a position of need. That being said, you have Aaron Rodgers, so that's great. But Josh Palmer is kind of where the tipping point begins for me as far as this wide receiver class. Again, it's fairly deep. Like, it's not necessarily, it's not a bad class by any means. It's just there is a point of kind of no return where you get to the fringe kind of, okay, they're going to need time on special teams players, or like those type of guys probably aren't going to contribute to the offense. Josh Palmer will probably contribute to the offense because of the situation Green Bay is in, but on any other team, I don't think he really does.
All right. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. Yep. Kansas City up. I feel like this team kind of still needs a linebacker. You know what? I'm going to go with a Big Ten linebacker, because I'm going to go Baron Browning from Ohio State. He was a senior this past year. Apparently he has all the intangibles, but he just hasn't. There's just a couple missing pieces. I don't know. I feel like Kansas City's defense isn't that good still. I mean, they kind of do need a linebacker and a pass rusher still. Their corners and secondary is not as bad, but I don't know. I feel like they need somebody that has athleticism and can make plays on the field. So I don't know.
Yeah, put even more pressure on a quarterback like Tom Brady, maybe. Just a random quarterback that I thought of. Definitely not the one that they lost the Super Bowl to or anything like that. That's funny, man. No, I like that pickup. I definitely don't hate that pickup. I think with Tampa Bay, this is so hard for me. Yeah. Tampa Bay, I had them take that safety at the end of the first round. Now we are again at the end of the second round. They still, Aleem McNeil, interior defensive lineman. I think he's the next best interior defensive lineman on the board. Sure, you've signed back all 22 starters, so you're getting, your Ndamukong Suh back and all that stuff. Your defensive line is pretty good as far as it all goes, but there's no reason to not get younger. especially when a guy like this can learn from all that talent that's already on the defensive line. You could probably turn what this pick is, the end of the second round, into the value of a first round pick just from the knowledge that he'll pick up. So.
Wow. All right. We got Jacksonville. I mean, talk about a tough pick, man. Shoot.
Start of the third round. Third and final round. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. I feel like this is a tough pick for me with Jacksonville. I'm just gonna look at safety. I feel like they could use a safety. I'm gonna go with Javon Holland actually from Oregon.
Okay.
I don't feel like he's as good as some of those other safeties that are already off the board, but Jacksonville's literally filled up. Is this their sixth pick? Like, is it 6? Like,
it might be. That sounds that sounds about right. One.
I feel like this offense is getting rebuilt already. I mean, let's get a guy on the back end that's going to make plays for you, and that's very athletic. So I don't really see why it's a bad pick for Jacksonville here. I mean, help at least depth.
No.
You know what I mean? At least
no.
Depth.
I don't think that's a bad pick at all. I don't know if it's the safety that I would have went with, but I definitely don't think it's a bad pick by any means whatsoever. So
yeah.
All right. And then we got the Jets here. Yet again, the Jets, another close to winner of this draft, getting Elijah Vera Tucker in the second, your Caleb Farley and Zach Wilson. Just 3 fantastic picks already. Let's see here. Who do we need? We need an edge rusher. Let's give them Ronnie Perkins out of Oklahoma. I think that there's an argument to be made for Peyton Turner there too out of Houston. So it was kind of a coin toss between those guys, but I don't know. I like the numbers that Ronnie Perkins puts up as far as his size, just a little bit more for the movability out of Oklahoma. So Ronnie Perkins it is.
All right. Shoot. I like that pick. I feel like they need anything.
Oh my God, Houston.
Houston.
I think this is the first time we're seeing Houston.
It is. And that's another team that needs 1,000 needs.
Right. Yeah. And the first time you see him is in the third round, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's great if you're Houston. I don't know. You know what? I'm actually gonna go wide receiver here. I'm gonna make it a little interesting. I'm gonna go wide receiver. I'm gonna go Amari Rodgers from Clemson. This team literally needs anything, but let's just start with wide receiver. I feel like this guy from Clemson, T. Lawrence was throwing him the ball, but I don't know who's going to be the QB because it's not going to be Deshaun Watson. Who's going to be that quarterback? Tyrod Taylor, wasn't it who they signed? Shoot.
Yes, Tyrod
Taylor. Give him somebody to throw the ball to because they're losing all their dudes. I mean, shoot. This guy has some upside. He's from Clemson. They produced some good wideouts. They did produce former Houston Texan DeAndre Hopkins. So
yeah. So sorry, did you go Cornell Powell or Amari Rodgers?
I went Amari Rodgers.
Amari Rodgers. Okay.
From Clemson.
Sorry, I was looking for him on my board here. All right. Yeah, no, I definitely don't hate that pick. I think that, and it's funny the comment that you make about how it's not going to be Deshaun Watson throwing to him, right? Because whether or not he gets traded with the allegations going on against him, it's going to be one way or another. He's probably not going to be the quarterback in Houston anymore. So, all right, man, here we go with the Atlanta Falcons at 68. Falcons got Justin Fields in the first round, and then they went ahead and picked up
Nick Bolton,
linebacker in the second round. Yes, thank you.
Yep.
I think that their next biggest point of need is probably an edge rusher. So let's go Peyton Turner here. Let's give them Peyton Turner out of Houston, the guy that just barely lost the coin toss when it came up to Ronnie Perkins at 66. So, yeah. If you're Atlanta, maybe you're getting the better end of that deal there. Who knows? It remains to be seen. But I think that's massive. I think that's great value at 68. He could probably start for them, to be honest with you.
Yep. All right. We got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Who have had a fantastic draft. Draft.
Man, I want to go interior offensive line, but I don't really I don't really know. I'm just going to – yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys, but you know what? I'm going to go tight end. This team needs a tight end so badly. I'm going to go with Brevin Jordan from Miami. They don't have a tight end. They should have picked up Kyle Rudolph, and they didn't, and they messed up. So I don't know. You got to take one in the third. I mean, you don't have a tight end. Like I don't who's on the tight end of the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know. And I actually root for the Bengals. So
right.
You know,
I feel
like
yep. Sorry.
What's up? Oh, I just feel like it's a position I need that you have to address in the draft because Kyle Rudolph should have been in Cincinnati Bengal and he wasn't. So
I have Brevin Jordan ranks as a third round talent who's probably going to fall to like the fourth or fifth round. So I definitely don't think that's a bad pick, especially for a team that's actually going to use him like Cincinnati will. Yeah, it would have been so great to see Kyle Rudolph go to Cincinnati, man.
Yep.
All right. Philly. Dilly on the clock. Went ahead and picked up a wide receiver, somebody who's actually going to be good for them in the first round, and then a pretty solid corner in the second round there. Let's see here. Let's go defensive line for Philly as well. Gonna give them Joseph Osai out of Texas. I think that's really solid value for where they're picking here at 70. I have him somewhere within the top 60 draft picks, or as far as just ranking pure talent. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty solid pickup for a team that, as I think you already said, needs a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball. They need help on both ends, but help on both sides.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's a QB needy team, and I really want to give them this guy, even though I could still be a reach. God, man. Oh, and you know who the guy is, obviously.
Go for it. Do whatever. I mean, like, don't do what you feel is going to happen.
You know what? Yeah, screw it. I feel like Denver's going to reach on a quarterback especially if they don't get one in the first round. So I'm going to give them Kyle Trask at 71. I mean, I don't think it's a great pick, but I mean, he's maybe the best on the board. I don't really know if he is. I don't know.
I would say he's not, but I have a guy in mind that I think is really great.
Oh, and I know who that is, but it's just like Denver's going to reach on a quarterback if they don't get one in the first round, in my opinion.
And Kyle Trask could easily go in the second round. So they're at this point, they're getting actually, I think, what is good value for this pick, especially as a team that is quarterback needy. So it's not even necessarily a reach here at 71 to get Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't hate that pick. Okay, here we go with Detroit, the Kitties. I have to actually look here. Who was it that Detroit took last? They took Zaven Collins, linebacker, and then they got Jamar Chase, right? Yeah, Jamar Chase.
Yep.
So wide receiver and linebacker have been taken. Well, then this becomes actually really easy for me because the next best player that I have on my draft who's kind of just been sitting here for a while is a safety, and they do need a safety. I have Andre Cisco out of Syracuse going to Detroit there. I think in the secondary, he's by far the next best player, and they need a safety. So easy peasy. Not really much of an explanation.
Yeah. Okay. Now we got the Carolina Panthers with pick 73 here. They took a QB and an offensive tackle. I don't know. I just have this feeling this team still needs a corner. I'm going to go with Afatu Melifanu from Syracuse, just the guy from the same school that you picked. I mean, I don't feel like it's a bad pick. I mean, this team does need defense at the end of the day, I feel like. So
For sure.
I don't see what's wrong with it there, but yeah, they need something on defense in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that pick. I definitely don't hate that pick. All right. Here we are with Washington. And Washington has a couple needs, in my opinion. They've already taken a wide receiver who's going to be very solid for them and a tackle that's going to be very solid for them. So now we're kind of getting into the area of, are you going to get a starter at this point? Probably not, right? Like this kind of gets to the point where you're not necessarily getting a starter, and that's okay. So I'm going to give them a linebacker because I think that they can still use a bit more on the defensive side of the ball. They have a great defense, don't get me wrong, but I think that they could use a bit more. So they're going to take Justin Hilliard out of Ohio State here. I could also see them taking a quarterback at that position, but we're not doing trades in this. And I do see kind of Washington making a move, maybe even potentially trading up to 14 or something like that. Or they're trying to, whatever. Doing something to get a quarterback that involves a trade. So the way it is, I think that's the next best thing for them.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We got Dallas Cowboys up at 75. They took a tight end and an interior defensive line. I know Christian Barrymore was even the interior defensive line. Sorry. At 75, this team they need a corner, in my opinion. Still bad because they haven't taken one at this point. Yep. I feel like I'm going to go with Shaun Wade. I think it might be a reach, but this kid he's got upside. He had a little bit of problems at Ohio State, but he has upside. And Dallas seems to like take chances on quarterbacks because they did with Trevon Diggs last year. So I don't know. I feel like it's very realistic, in my opinion, Dallas taking a chance on Shaun Wade because he is a high risk type of pick in the third round, but he's got a lot of talent. I've seen him play at Ohio State in the Big Ten. He's got a lot of talent. It's just he's got some other stuff. So,
and of all teams, I definitely think Dallas is the one that. Oh, I think you kind of already touched on it, like you said something, but they enjoy having those out there guys in their locker room.
Oh yeah,
they're very okay with having the big heads come into Dallas and play some football. That's the style, that's the culture that they like. So and nothing wrong with that. If you can make it work, then normally you get some of the better talent out there. Those guys are just kind of hard to build a solid culture around.
Yep.
All right, we got the New York Football Giants up next here. And let's see here. New York Giants, they took a defensive lineman and
a safety.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Defensive lineman and a safety. Well, now they need an offensive lineman then, definitely at this point, in my opinion. So let's give them an offensive lineman. Let's give them Quinn Minares out of Wisconsin Whitewater. He played a center most of the time, but he's pretty flexible. I definitely think that this is a guy that, if need be, they can move around within those two interior offensive guard positions, and probably helps them a lot with their run game, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, man. I like that. All right. 77 with the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
I think I took them both times. I took offensive linemen. So, you know what? Let's go with the defense here. I think this team kind of needs an edge rusher. They have Bosa, but they don't really have another guy. I mean, this guy's probably not going to be a starter for them.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to go Joe Tyron from Washington.
I love that pick. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like kid's got upside from Washington, and the Chargers, I feel like they need to pair somebody with Bosa. They don't have Melvin Ingram's a linebacker, so I feel like it's kind of a sneaky good pick there. Then
that's the biggest thing with him. He didn't score like amazingly high or anything this last year, but he just is so young. It's kind of like that whole Gregory Rousseau thing. Like he was only a sophomore after this last year. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. I like that pick. Yep. Oh boy. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here we are. Minnesota Vikings at 78 here. And I had them take a wide receiver. So a lot of people are going to be very pissed off at me here because I'm not taking an offensive lineman.
Oh, God.
There's no offensive line. Okay, hold on. Before I speak, we have another pick coming up at 90, whereas I think we can still get an offensive lineman that's basically of the same value. So I'm going to take the guy that I really like, who I think should back up Kirk Cousins and eventually even take over the role, maybe.
What?
Davis Mills out of Stanford. I love this kid. I watched his pro day and I could not take my eyes off the screen. I love this kid. I cannot stress it enough. So I know that it's two crazy offensive picks that I've made for the Vikings now, a wide receiver and a quarterback, but stay with me. It's happening. We're on our way, people. We're on our way. What, do you hate that? You gonna come at me for that pick, Tyler?
Dude, that's some crazy stuff. Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that, but all right. Got the Las Vegas Raiders up at 79. You did take interior offensive lineman, and we took the safety, obviously. I don't know. I feel like this team still needs a line, but they also need a linebacker. Yeah. I'm going to go with Pete Werner from Ohio State, linebacker. Ohio State's had a good defense last year. They did get shredded in a national championship game against the best offense at all college football. But, yeah. I mean, their guys have experience. I don't really see why this is a bad pick, but the Raiders defense, every time I watch it, it's just it's tough. So I don't really know why I feel like it'd be a good pickup.
Well, no matter what you do there, it's not a bad pick because they have the next pick. And with the next pick, they're taking a cornerback to shore up that defensive back room even more. They're going to take Tay Gowan out of UCF. Another guy out of DBU. I like this kid. And I think those two defensive picks right there are actually going to help them a lot, to be completely honest with you. I know that we talked earlier about how we're kind of getting into the no more starters position here in the draft, but don't be shocked if those guys come in rotationally and start earning some snaps.
Yeah, man. I like it. All right. We got the Miami Dolphins up next, and this team I think is filled. Is it 3 already? Have they had 3 picks? I don't know. It's a lot.
They've had more than that.
Is it 4? Jeez.
1,
I think it's 4.
2, yeah.
Wow.
It's been quite a few.
You know what? Let's give them a running back. Let's give them Javonte Williams from North Carolina.
Jesus. I was wondering when he was gonna go. That's good.
Yeah. I feel like it's a good fit. I mean, I don't see why he's the third best running back here, but I mean, Miami needs a running back. I mean, they don't have one.
Well, dude, the value there, he's worth a 40, like a pick around the 40s probably. So you're getting
you can't
double
really pass
the value.
81.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All righty, man. 82 Washington football team. I think they might have had so far one of the best drafts. They got a linebacker a couple picks ago at 74. Their wide receiver to round out one of the best wide receiver groups in the NFL. A really solid tackle in Tevin Jenkins. So here is where, if you're Washington, you are really pissed at Minnesota because you were hoping the Stanford guy would fall all the way to you to get a quarterback. The next quarterback is Kellen Mond. I'm not going to have them take a guy who is probably more of a 4th or 5th round pick, to be completely honest with you. So let's give them another offensive lineman, shall we? Let's give them Trey Smith out of Tennessee, another true guard in this draft, which it feels like is kind of hard to come by. You see a lot of these guys listed as tackles or centers when they can play guard too, but Trey Smith comes out into this draft labeled as a guard. So, yeah, you can't go wrong. Again, if you're Washington, they re-signed Sheriff before the offseason. Either that or franchise tagged him. Actually, it might have just been a franchise tag. But again, so it's like, if that's a franchise tag, which is what I'm 99% sure it was, you only have him for this next year. There's no guarantee that you're going to find a replacement. So start building up a replacement for him. Start letting somebody learn tricks of how to be kind of as good as him or mimic his style, because he's one of the best guards out there. So, all right.
Well, we have the Chicago Bears. Like you said, QB is, I think, the number one team need, but I don't know if I trust Kellen Mond right here in the third round. So I feel like that's an ultimate reach, even though I feel like the Bears might do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it though. I'm not gonna do it. Chicago Bears fans, you could thank me. I'm actually going with a wide receiver, actually.
Okay.
I feel like interior offensive line would be a move, but I feel like Nico Collins out of Michigan, he's got a 6'4", he's 6'4", 215. He has the frame, one of those DK Metcalf type receivers. He has the frame. It's just the rawness. He's raw. He didn't play this last season due to COVID, obviously. But, I mean, give your QB, your new QB, Andy Dalton, the red rifle, a new weapon. Give him something, because who do you got at wide receiver right now? Anthony Miller and,
nobody.
Allen Robinson, who will be gone after this year. Allen Robinson's not coming back, people. So
I dig that. I dig that pick a lot. Not so much as a Vikings fan, because I definitely feel like he's kind of like what you were saying with DK Metcalf, one of those guys who, if he figures out some of the mechanics of the the position, then he could be really scary for quite a few years. But finally, Chicago has something to be happy about.
Oh, man.
All right, now we got Philadelphia here, thanks to Indianapolis and that trade for Carson Wentz. Philadelphia, I would have to look back and remind myself what it is they've taken so I don't double dip. They've taken a corner and I believe a wide receiver.
And an edge.
And an edge. I missed that pick. So, okay, corner, edge, and wide receiver. Solid. So we could probably go linebacker here, to be honest with you. Or even another corner. But let's be honest, we're not gonna. I don't want to go too out there. I don't want to be as crazy. So we'll go ahead and give him a linebacker here. We'll give him Monty Rice out of Georgia. Kind of a toss-up between him or Chaz Surratt for me. I just like the Georgia guys when it comes to the corners and the linebackers a bit more than the NC guys, but that's just me. So yeah, good for Philadelphia.
All right. Well, we got the Tennessee Titans. You know what? I feel like this team needs a safety desperately. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't really.
I got a safety here that I've been eyeing up for a while. I
don't think I have the same guy as you, but I feel like Tennessee needs a safety. I feel like their corners and their defensive back room isn't very deep, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give them Jamar Johnson from Indiana.
That's exactly. Yep, that's what I was gonna. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's a good pick. He's sneaky. I've heard some good things about him, that he could probably come in and start right away. Yeah.
He looks really good. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. You've gotten a starter now in kind of the late stages of the third rounder.
Yep.
So, yeah. And I don't know what their safety room looks like. They might have two bona fide starters already, but the fact that none of their names come to mind isn't the best for a guy like me who's practically an NFL encyclopedia. So it's not necessarily the most shining compliments of the Tennessee safety room. All right, we got the Jets thanks to Seattle, and the Jets have had a fantastic draft so far. They got Ronnie Perkins earlier in this round. They got, again, I cannot stress the fact that they got Elijah Vera Tucker in the second round, Caleb Farley, and your guy Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Yeah.
Geez, man. Quarterback, corner, tackle / guard, probably mostly a guard with Elijah, edge rusher, and now here we are. Um, let's give him the next best safety that I have on here, who happens to be the next best player on my board, our Darius Washington. Let's go. Give that defense even more. It's to that point where it's like the wide receivers, you're going to get almost the same talent in the next 3 rounds as you would right here. Obviously, that's not completely true. You're definitely going to get lower talent in like round 6 and the end of round 5. But these like round 3, round 4 wide receivers are kind of the same to me. So could definitely see a wide receiver going there to give Wilson another weapon. But yeah, why not bolster the defense even more? Especially with a guy like Saleh as the head coach, which I haven't even talked about.
Oh, yeah.
A defensive-minded guy. So
definitely. With Pittsburgh here, they took a running back and an edge. Let's give them a good defensive player here. I'm gonna go with Tyson Campbell out of Georgia.
Yes.
Kid was a 5-star recruit out of high school. He's got height. He's 6'2". I mean, I know you said you like those Georgia corners.
I do. I like those Georgia defenders. What can I say?
I've seen this kid up in maybe the second round too. I think he's a second-round type talent. So in the 3rd round, I feel like it's kind of a good pick for the Steelers. I mean, this team I feel like is falling apart, so might as well pick a potential lockdown corner, hopefully.
For sure. I like that a lot. All right, we got LA, their second pick of the draft, if I'm remembering correctly. Yep. And earlier they had taken a tackle, Dante Smith. So let's have them take a corner here. And I have I have a corner here in mind that I dig. Quite honestly, I wouldn't mind him coming to Minnesota, or should I say staying in Minnesota. But,
man. Don't tell me he's off the board.
He's going to go ahead and go to LA here. Benjamin St. Juste. I wanted to draft him for Minnesota at number 90 coming up here, but I feel like this just makes more sense in LA. And wow, they don't have a 1st-round pick, but those past 2 picks here with Benjamin St. Juste and then Dante Smith, those are 2 solid picks. Really solid talent for where they are in this draft.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have the Cleveland Browns with 2 defensive players off the board for them. I feel like it's a no-brainer. You got to pick a wide receiver here for Cleveland. I'm going to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown from USC. It's another school that generates some good athletes, and they need a wide receiver 3. We don't really know a lot about Odell Beckham Jr. right now, his status. So, I mean, Jarvis Landry's getting up there, kind of had a down year last year. They did have Rashard Higgins, but those are a lot of questions right there. So let's pick up a guy who has some talent, but we don't know if he's probably not going to be a starter next year, but let's see if we can develop him.
Yeah, I definitely don't I don't hate that pick at all. I think that wide receiver, as you guys kind of age, which definitely in Cleveland, those guys are aging. You need to bring in young guys, and that's a wide receiver core that can pass on a lot of talent and a lot of knowledge for sure. Plus, they have another pick coming up here after the Vikes. So here we are at 90, Vikings' last pick for this mock draft that me and T are doing here today. And you guys, you finally get your wish. Minnesota fans go crazy. We're going to go ahead and take an offensive lineman here. We're going to go ahead and take Ben Cleveland out of Georgia, the guard, a pure guard. It's very solid depth and not even depth. Who knows? Ben Cleveland at this point with what we have at guard could be a starter based off this pick. So I think I'm kind of going into this pick with the Vikings hoping that they've made a signing at the offensive line, or else those 2 picks beforehand would probably be a bit different. And by a bit different, I mean a lot different.
Yeah.
But I really like this pick here. Besides, I like the other Cleveland that we have on this team. So why not go ahead and get another one?
2 Clevelands. You have to have the B and the E in front of the Cleveland.
That's right.
Oh, man. All right. Got the Cleveland Browns. So I actually just picked the wide receiver, obviously.
Yep.
I think this team needs a linebacker. I think I mocked them earlier this year, having taken the linebacker. So
yeah, pretty early.
Yep. So I like Shaz Surratt. I don't know if I'm saying that right, from North Carolina.
Yep.
I mean, this kid's he's pretty good. I mean, I don't see why you don't pick a linebacker. They don't really have anybody at linebacker. I mean, here you get some talent on that defensive line that hopefully is going to be your future and they can sustain there. But if you get this guy and he turns into something, I mean, that's a great pickup because Cleveland's defense so far in this mock draft is hopefully on the rise.
Right. For sure. Okay, next we got Green Bay. Green Bay finally took a wide receiver the last time that they were on the clock, and then they had taken a corner previous to that. So 2 positions that were of need for sure, but I think I see another linebacker on the horizon here for Green Bay. Seems like a team that just kind of can't retain their linebackers, it feels like. So
yeah,
let's go ahead and give them another one here. We'll give them Dylan Moses out of Alabama. Could have also went with the Michigan product Cameron McGrone, but I just dig the Dylan Moses pick a little bit more. I think he's slightly higher rated. So there you go. Those are the 3 biggest needs when I look at the Green Bay roster. Maybe you go interior defensive line there too, but linebacker I felt like just kind of edged that out a bit more.
All right. We got Buffalo at 93. You took an edge and a running back. I think I got to keep going with the defense with them. I feel like this team needs a corner. I'm going to go with Paulson Adebo from Stanford. He's 6'1" currently. He was a senior this past year in the Pac-12 for the Stanford Cardinal. I feel like this team needs a corner on defense, actually. I don't know. I don't see why they wouldn't take a corner actually in this draft. I feel like they need any sort of depth at that defense. They got absolutely shredded by Kansas City. I mean, you gotta do something, man. I mean, Kansas City's going to come back stronger next year. I mean, we saw how they went down. And so, I mean, I don't see them beating Kansas City unless they really address that defense, in my opinion.
Right.
Because I feel like they got the offense to keep up.
Yeah, I like that pick. There were a couple corners maybe that I had ranked ahead of him, but I think that he fits their scheme more with his build, to be completely honest with you, and what they need, because their defensive back room as a whole isn't by the worst by far or anything like that. So just getting some youth kind of injected in there is definitely good for the Buffalo Bills. All right, Kansas City Chiefs here. Kansas City. I actually have completely forgotten who they've already taken. So they got a linebacker
and a linebacker. Yep.
Okay, offensive tackle and a linebacker. Good, because I want to go defensive interior line here. And I know just the guy I want to give them, Marvin Wilson out of Florida State. Quite honestly, it's shocking that he's still on the board. I think that he should have gone at least 20 picks ago. But at the same time, I've been in control of half these picks, so it's my fault as well.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that, well, we've stressed it a ton already. You can never have too much depth on the defensive line. If you can constantly rotate out the guys that you have on the defensive line and get really solid pressure, the Kansas City Chiefs found out what that does to a team, and that it will keep you from winning a Super Bowl easily. So they take a page out of the Tampa Bay book, I guess, here and kind of figure it out. Take a defensive interior guy. So,
all right. We got the Tampa Bay Bucks at 95. They currently do not have a wide receiver 3. So
right.
with no Antonio Brown currently on the roster, so I'm actually gonna go wide receiver.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Dwayne Eskridge from Western Michigan. He is undersized, he's like 5'9", I think. 5'9", yes, 5'9", senior. He used to be a defensive back. He's pretty athletic, in my opinion. He's an athlete. Tom Brady throwing him the ball would help. I mean, they do have Tyler Johnson, actually. Sorry. I don't know why I'm disrespecting the GOAT like that, because he's going to be the new wide receiver 3. But he's going to help back up. They're going to still need 4 wide receivers. So, yeah, Tyler Johnson's going to be the new wide receiver 3. Sorry, people. I don't know why I deserve a slap.
I'm not talking to you for the rest of the day. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's totally understandable, man. I think that kind of like what I wish the Vikings would have done. You know, there is a legit need for teams to have a wide receiver 4 as well, or like a good punt returner and special teams. You know,
somebody who's athletic. Yep.
Right. Yeah, and so like that's why I get pissed off like when we re-sign a Chad Beebe or something like that.
Yeah.
What is hopefully our wide receiver 4, not 3. But yeah. Don't worry about the whole Tyler Johnson slander. I mean, worry about it, and you should never do it again. But like, don't worry about it. It's all good. Here we are with New England. They had a pick earlier. Well, technically they had a pick earlier, but they forfeited it for reasons I honestly can't remember. But they would have been picking number 77 at one time. Now, here they are at number 96. They still need a quarterback, and I'm at the point where I am reaching.
Oh, gosh.
Bill Belichick. I am reaching. So, Kellen Mond, here you are. You're coming in. You're going to fill the shoes of Tom Brady. And, no, I'm just kidding. Obviously, they have Cam Newton, so Kellen Mond isn't going to be starting right away by any means, but they need somebody that Bill Belichick and Josh Daniels can – coach for a little while and teach the ropes and kind of figure out what they have here. And if you don't remember, Tyler, the last Texas A&M quarterback who was kind of slept on, well, he's doing some pretty good things in the league right now.
Oh, yeah. There's this guy, too.
Oh, yeah, that guy, too. Yeah. Yep.
But he's not in the league.
No, he is not in the league. Money Manziel is no longer in the league. Alrighty, man. We're into the compensatory picks now. Or I guess that last one was compensatory pick too. But who do you got going to the Chargers?
Let's see. I think this team needs a safety too. I think it's another team that actually needs a safety. Why is my board? There we go.
He took an edge rusher. He took a center /
offensive
guard.
tackle. Yep.
Yeah,
offensive tackle. Yep. I'm gonna go with why don't I know how to say this name? Hasma Nasrildeen from Florida State. Another school that generates good athletes, but I don't know. This team needs a safety. They have Derwin James, but dude's always hurt. So please, they got to get some sort of backup or depth at that position because that dude's not healthy. You know, he's a really good football player. He's not healthy.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that pick. I think we've kind of already talked about how depth on the back end is also very important. You know, I think you kind of rank it depth on the defensive line, depth on the offensive line, depth in the backfield for cornerbacks and safeties for sure, in my book. So, yeah, I mean, they have a pretty stout defensive back room, it seems like, but this is a great pick. This just bolsters that. All right, New Orleans here at 98. I am going to finally give them the wide receiver that this team probably has wanted me to draft for a while now. And I'm going to give them another Clemson guy, somebody who had a GOAT throwing to them, and now they go to the 30 for 30 quarterback.
Oh my gosh.
My guy Jameis out there. So Cornell Powell, you are a New Orleans Saint. Congratulations.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, have fun with Jamie. But all right, we got the Dallas Cowboys at 99 here. Man, I think this is tough, but I feel like it's down to an offensive tackle or an edge, in my opinion. I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with an edge though. Actually, I'm gonna give them Janaris Robinson. I'm gonna give them Janaris Robinson, redshirt senior. Yeah, I don't know. They don't have much of a pass rush. I don't know. Their defense is, I think any pick on the defense is not even a bad pick for them, actually. I mean, you can pick any guy. I really don't think it's bad because it's literally an improvement from what they had last year, and it was really bad. So, yeah.
You're all about those Florida State guys, it really seems like. I think you love those Florida State defenders.
I picked like 3 Florida. 2. I know I picked the last 2 above Florida State. Have I picked 3? I don't think I picked Samuel.
I don't know. I'm just making a joke, but yeah, that's funny.
No, that's cool. I get that.
All right, we got Tennessee here back. I think that they've taken quite a bit here already. It feels like they took safety last, and then corner. I think they got a wide receiver at one point. So now there's a tackle. Okay, just those guys.
Corner, tackle, safety.
So no wide receiver yet.
No.
Well, they probably. Well, why not? Let's give them wide receiver. Like I said, it's to that point where you're practically getting kind of the same draft stock out of these wide receivers. So Tylan Wallace, Oklahoma State. Welcome to Tennessee. You got a run-first offense there, but that means that you're going to get a lot of shots that are pretty open when they do decide to throw it your way. So bring what you got, my man.
Yeah. All right. Well, Motor City Kitties back up somehow. They've had a lot of picks actually. Actually, no, they've had 3. Okay. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. 3.
Okay.
But Motor City Kitties obviously back up. I'm going to give them an offensive tackle. I mean, this offensive line is horrible. This team literally needs every position, man.
Remember, they got Slater. They got Slater in the first round.
Oh, they do?
Yep.
What?
They got Rashan Slater in the first round.
Detroit.
Yes. Pretty sure.
I don't.
Oh, no, they got Jamar Chase. I'm dumb. Rashan Slater was right before them. It was Miami. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, they got Jamar Chase. Put me in my place.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to go James Hudson. Hudson.
Yeah.
He actually played defensive line in high school. Kind of interesting. Man, this guy's big. I mean, any offensive line, in my opinion, any position on this Motor City Kitty team could be filled. Literally any position.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like what we were saying earlier. They practically need an entirely new team. So
yeah, it's literally the whole team.
Yeah, it's insane. All righty, man. Here we are with San Francisco. They got their quarterback of the future. They got what else have they gotten? I just know about the quarterback. Jesus, it's so hard to keep track of this.
Wyatt Davis.
So they got a guard, a really solid guard, not just any guard. And now here they are. So quarterback and a guard. All right, let's give them. Man, this is tough. I am going to go corner here. I'm going to give him Thomas Graham Jr. out of Oregon. I think that that's probably one of the next biggest positions of need on this team. So if no wide receiver is speaking to you, Kyle Shanahan, then go for the defense.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a need for San Francisco at corner. I mean, I really don't see why that's I think it's a great pickup.
All right. Let's LA.
We got LA, yeah. Got the LA Rams. Wow. It's kind of tough. They got the tackle off the board in the corner. I feel like this team's tight. Do they have Tyler Higbee still? I don't.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't know. You know what? I'm going interior offensive line. I mean, if they have like B, I don't know why you would take that. So I'm gonna go Josh Myers, the center. But again, this Ohio State offensive line last year, if you watch them, very dominant. Like literally, there was no weakness on that offensive line. Literally no weakness. So, I mean, I think it's a great pickup. I mean, he's probably gonna start. I don't know who they have at center actually, but
Again, a very
start.
transferable guy. You know, a very
he can play guard too.
Yep, very versatile guy. Well, all right, here we are, man. We're practically at the end. This was my last pick of the mock. Baltimore Ravens here, and boy, oh boy, Baltimore. I feel like they've had a fairly good draft. They got a tackle last round, and then they got the really raw but could be extremely solid edge rusher. So, man, I'm going to go ahead and give them a wide receiver to finish this thing out. I think that that's probably still their biggest need. They need a speedster, in my opinion. So let's give them that, shall we? Let's give them Cade Johnson out of South Dakota State. He's the next best wide receiver that I have on my board. Run with it, man. I mean, I saw South Dakota State in person, not like this last year as in the 2021 season, 2020-21, but the 2019-2020 season when they played at the University of Minnesota. And it was a pretty solid offense. They were electric at times. So
they gave us Johnson, a game.
Yeah, bring that stuff to Baltimore.
All right. We got the New Orleans Saints finishing it off. I feel like they got corner, wide out, and linebacker off the board. I feel like this team could go interior defensive line. I feel like that would be a really good pick them here at the end. Man, I'm gonna go. Well, he did play edge as well, which is also I'd say those are two big needs. I mean, they have Cam Jordan, but they're losing Trey Hendrickson. I'm going to go Milton Williams. Milton Williams to finish it off. He played edge as well. He played edge and he's interior as well. I mean, he's got the frame of an interior defensive lineman. So I feel like that's a great pickup for them. It's basically two spots they need. I mean, he's flexible, like I just said. So I feel like not a bad pickup at all to finish off for the New Orleans Saints.
Awesome. All righty. Well, it's in the books. Those of you who listened all the way through and had the heart to get through what's probably going to end up being about 2 hours worth of content here, congratulations. Feel free to grade our drafts in the comments or whatever. Shout out to us on Twitter and
gotta be an A.
What you think?
That was
gotta be an A. It's gotta be an A. Yeah, I think some teams are walking away much happier than others. The fact that we didn't do any trades definitely feeds into it. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this has been a ton of fun. So we are taking a pretty big break coming up. We will not have a show coming on Thursday. No shows next week either. So we will be getting back to you here in about 2 weeks from now. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys then. Maybe by then we'll do something real fun. We'll get together in person or something and do one of these mock drafts. I know that the technical difficulties on both ends with the mics can get a little rough to sit through. So besides, with the draft coming up, I think that it would be a lot of fun to do something like that. So we'll definitely keep all you listeners in touch. But looking forward to that stuff for sure. As always, make sure you check out our website. Make sure you check out all the past episodes. We are now on YouTube, so look us up, Vikes with a Mic.
Yes, sir.
We'll post the videos and all that good stuff. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe there. And just support the podcast in any way, shape, or form that you can. We're super stoked, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Skol.